14th Amendment was ratified. What does that mean? There are many people who argue that it means that if you are not here legally, you cannot claim citizenship for your children or progeny. So the Trump administration here seems to be playing two different strategies here. One is to get this into court early. They did everything but drive these people to the court to challenge them. It's clear the Trump administration wants to be in court as quickly as possible. That's going to allow this to go through the system, ultimately to the Supreme Court. But keep in mind, in 2 years we have midterm elections. And both the legislation in this case are going to force Democrats to side unequivocally with birthright citizenship, something that is unpopular with many voters.
Hey, John, we just got about a minute left here, but the 14th Amendment was passed in the wake of the Civil War and the Dred Scott decision, which denied citizenship to former slaves. This was to remedy that. And who could have back then in the 1860s foreseen the problem that we are going to have with illegal immigration today and people coming over here literally as for citizenship tourism?
Well, that was the point of some of the original figures involved in this language. They said that those 6 words were really about guaranteeing that freed slaves would be recognized as citizens, but they said that would not apply to foreigners who are coming into the country illegally. It would apply to citizens and lawful residents. But there were others at that time who disagreed with that interpretation. The Supreme Court seems to have rejected it in a couple of cases, but those are rather dated, and this court might want to take a new look at it.
So much time worrying what could be or what I might have been, second guessing every move I make. I wanna trust myself, love myself, believe in myself like I used to. I wanna trust myself, be enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in historic times, and news is happening in such a quick clip. It is neck snapping, and we encourage you to subscribe to our channel. You must subscribe. For the notification to understand the world around you, you must get locked in, because something is happening right now that is going to change your understanding of the American government forever. Donald Trump is at this very moment, according to all available reports, declassifying the federal documentation on the murders of John F. Kennedy, president, his brother Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. All of them were killed under incredibly mysterious circumstances. All of them had major enemies inside of our federal government and deep state. And all of these 3 men have secrets that have been held from us for 60 years. Everybody who could have been involved in these assassinations, in these murders, are long gone. Yet, who is being protected? The establishment and the structures inside of Washington that are culpable in these murders, most likely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what's happening right now. I cannot believe I'm able to actually say it. It is something that Donald Trump has promised, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see live on this program. We are going to be covering President Trump, who will be in the Oval Office presently. This is now about 1 hour late we are to what was supposed to be a 2:30 signing of executive orders, but we do not know what executive orders they are. There's a lot of rumors that he's going to pardon pro-life activists who were locked up by Joe Biden for simply praying outside of abortion clinics. There's rumors that he's going to sign something having to do with crypto and digital currency. But this is what's breaking my feed right now, ladies and gentlemen. Trump orders the release of the final JFK assassination documents. Here we go. The last secret files about the assassination of John F. Kennedy can now be published after Donald Trump signed an order for declassification of all remaining documents about the 1963 murder. Conspiracy theories continue to swirl 60 years later. Do you know that the term conspiracy theory is actually made up during the JFK assassination? It was a slur that was used to slime people who decided to question if some guy who was trained by the CIA, mind you, Lee Harvey Oswald, who was living in Russia and Cuba, could sit inside of a Texas school book depository and riddle bullets all over JFK's moving vehicle, bullets coming from every direction, magic bullets that actually zoomed past JFK and then entered his neck, bullets that really defy the laws of physics. Got to explain that to me, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, they slandered those people as conspiracy theorists. Live on this program, President Trump is going to be from the White House. He's going to be inside the Oval Office. He's going to be signing the declassification of, I guess, all of these documents. Perhaps he will read them live. We'll see. Any new information will excite the sleuths who continue to wonder whether there's more to the story of a lone gunman. In the shape of Lee Harvey Oswald, Trump signed an executive order that directs the Director of National Intelligence to put together a plan within 15 days to release the documents of the JFK assassination. More than 50 years after the assassination of John F. Kennedy and RF Kennedy and Reverend Martin Luther King, the federal government has not released all public records related to those events, reads the executive order obtained by the Daily Mail. Their families and American people deserve transparency and truth. It is in the national interest of final release of the records these assassinations without delay. Intelligence chiefs will have 45 days to put together a plan to release the RFK and King archives. Millions of pages of JFK documents have already been released, leaving only a few thousand kept in the archives. But why would they protect those few thousand? There are a lot of theories about who and why someone would kill JFK. The question with every single murder is going to be cui bono, who benefits, Latin for who benefits. Who would benefit the murder of JFK? Well, who was JFK making enemies of? JFK wanted to atomize and do away with the CIA. JFK wanted to halt forever wars. He wanted to keep America out of war. He was tricked into the Bay of Pigs. You could say that maybe there were communists in Castro's Cuba that hated JFK and wanted him assassinated, but quite frankly, I'm far more worried about the communists that worked right here in America to take out JFK. And who benefited? Lyndon Baines Johnson. Lyndon Baines Johnson is the person who encouraged JFK to go to Dallas and to ride in the back of that open-air limousine. LBJ, of course, was Mr. Texas. He's from that state. He controlled pretty much everything. A lot of funny business, a lot of doctoring, a lot of lies. And there have been thousands of pages that have been kept very close to the chest that apparently the agencies that still exist, okay, do not want you to see. We have a video here of President Trump signing here these executive orders. Here we go. Although, please, ALX, correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to have like an actual live feed of President Trump inside of the Oval Office doing this as well. This is the video that has just been posted to social media. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay, give that to RFK Jr., says Donald Trump, upon his signing of this, maybe the most important executive order yet, this side of course, the January 6th, political prisoners being freed. The most recent releases include CIA cable and memos regarding visits by Oswald, Cuban and Soviet embassies in Mexico City before the assassination. The experts doubt that there is any major revelations lurking in the archives that would change the accepted version of events. Trump promised during his re-election campaign that he would declassify. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Which is really going up, right?
Absolutely.
David, that's for you. Thanks. You find them exciting? They might not be exciting, but they're going to make a lot of money for the country.
Thank you, sir.
And so is David. You have to check him out. There's nobody like this guy. They said, how did you get David Sachs? How did you do that? And he's doing it for the country more than anything else. So we appreciate it, David. Thank you very much.
This is an executive order establishing a presidential commission, an advisory commission on science and technology.
Good. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
The basic idea is to get together top people from government, the private sector, technology industry, as well as educational institutions, to make sure that America maintains its leadership position with respect to science and technology development in the years ahead.
Good. That's great.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum encouraging departments and agencies in your government, including the Department of the Interior, to promote federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina.
I love the Lumbee tribe. So this is their first big step, right?
This would be a huge step for them, sir.
Yeah, they were with me all the way. They were great. North Carolina, Lumbee tribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're watching right now is live. President Trump will most likely take questions from the press. We are live right now inside of the White House. If you're just joining us,
you'll send them a copy of that?
Yes, sir.
we have
They were
tons of
great.
breaking news.
Okay.
And if you'd like, I could get them that pen, sir, as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
President Trump
Next, we
signing.
have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were
Yes.
prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this.
Wow. Incredible. Yes.
They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now.
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous. Okay?
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Everything will be revealed.
Okay? Okay, thank you very
Mr.
much.
President, Mr. President, a U.S.
Live
judge
questions.
temporarily blocked the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Mr. President, Senators Collins and Murkowski have now said they will vote against Pete Hegseth. Are you worried about his confirmation and your reaction?
And no surprises there. It's too bad. You know, it's just the way it is. Too bad.
And when would you adjourn Congress to make recess appointments, Mr. President?
Well, I'd take a look at that. I'd listen to John Thune. He's doing a fantastic job. We're moving along. The Democrats are trying to delay government, as they always do. They can't help themselves. Even John Ratcliffe, who's very, very strong, very popular, and liked by the Democrats. I guess he gets a lot of Democrat votes. That's taking a long time, and it shouldn't be taking a long time. They're maxing everything out so they can delay everything as much as possible.
Does Senator Thune support an effort to use recess appointments if you choose to do that?
I'd be willing to use recess appointments. It's up to John, and we'll see. John Thune's a great guy, great senator, knows his stuff inside out and backwards, but I would use recess appointments if he wants to do that. Absolutely. The Democrats are just delaying. They always delay.
Mr. President, you spoke with the Saudi Crown Prince yesterday.
Who?
The Saudi Crown Prince. How was the call?
Right.
And they said $600 billion they can invest.
600. I'll ask him for $1 trillion.
You said we're going to ask for $1 trillion. Will Saudi Arabia be the first foreign country you will visit since they invest in that much?
Well, if they do that, I would, yeah. I would be glad to do that. I did it, as you know, 4 years ago. We did $450 billion, meaning the money all goes to American companies, and they purchase jets and they purchase computers and everything else. And we did $450 billion, and I guess we're at 650. And I'll see if I can talk him into
I don't
it.
think it is again. You showed great confidence in Steve Witkoff. Why you said that you doubt that the ceasefire in Gaza will hold, since you appraised his
Well, no, I think he's great,
efforts?
but it's a very tricky place. It's very tricky. We'll see. And if something does happen, they will not be happy.
Sir, follow up on that one. In terms of Steve Witkoff, are you going to put him in charge of Iran's strategy, and do you want him talking directly with the Iranians?
No, but he's certainly somebody I would use. He's done a fantastic job. He's a great negotiator. He's a very good person, a very popular person. Gets along with people. I have great negotiators. They have no personality whatsoever, and then I have some that do. Steve has a wonderful way about him, and people like him, and even in this case, both sides like him. And he was able to make a deal. That deal would have never been made without Steve. The Biden people couldn't make the deal. They were working on it for a year and a half. They couldn't make a deal. We got it done prior to the inauguration. We said it has to be before the inauguration. I mean, the deal should hold, but if it doesn't hold, there'll be a lot of problems.
Related to your AI, EO, just hours after you made that big Stargate announcement, Elon Musk tweeted that they don't actually have the money. Is that true?
I don't know if they do, but they're putting up the money. The government's not putting up anything. They're putting up money. They're very rich people, so I hope they do. And I mean, Elon doesn't like one of those people, so.
Are you worried that AI is going to replace many American jobs? Does that worry you?
No. It's going to create tremendous numbers of jobs. It's going to also create a lot of benefits medically for cancer research and other things. It's going to have a huge positive impact. And, we want to be ahead of China. We're right now way ahead of China. David Sachs is one of the all-time experts. That people are amazed that you just met him. I don't know if he's still here. There he is. But one of the most respected people in that world. It's a whole different world. And we're ahead of China now because of what I'm doing. And I think it's going to be very successful.
Please, you just asked the Davos Forum again that NATO countries should spend 5% of GDP on defense.
Yeah.
The United States don't spend 5%.
Well,
Do you think
I
it
don't
should also
think so.
apply to the United States?
We're protecting them, They're not protecting us, we're protecting them. So I don't think we should be spending, I'm not sure we should be spending anything, but we should certainly be helping them. But they should up their 2% to 5%, yeah.
Mr. President, you said earlier during your speech at Davos that you would like to see interest rates come down. How much would you like to see them come down?
A
And
lot.
will you talk
I'd
with
like to see
Powell?
them come down a lot, and oil prices will come down. And when oil prices come down, everything's going to be cheaper for the American people, and actually for the world, but for the American people. So I'd like to see oil prices come down. And when the energy comes down, that's going to knock out a lot of the inflation. That's going to automatically bring the interest rates down.
Are you worried that
Mr.
there's too much going
President, you
on?
said that you would
Are you
demand.
worried that there's too much going on at once if you're trying to bring interest rates down, get the economy back going?
It just works that way. I mean, it just economically works that way. When the oil comes down, it'll bring down prices. Then you won't have inflation, and then the interest rates will come down.
You said that you would demand that the interest rates come down.
Well, I would.
Do you expect
I
the
would put
Fed?
in a strong statement.
Do you expect the Fed to listen to you?
Yeah,
Are you going to talk to Powell about this and bringing the rates down?
at the right time, I would.
So do you think any of the people you pardoned that were participated in the January 6, 2021 event, do you plan to meet with any of them or meet with them at the White House?
I don't know. I'm sure that they probably would like to. I did them something important, but what they did is they were protesting a crooked election. And, I mean, people understand that also. And they were treated very badly. Nobody's been treated like that. So I'd be open to it, certainly. I don't know of anything like that, but I think they're going to meet in some of the congressmen, women, want to meet. But I'd certainly be open to it.
Have you spoken to them since you issued the pardons?
I haven't spoken to any of them yet, but I know they're very happy.
Mr. President,
I gave them their life back. Their life was taken away from them unnecessarily and unfairly. I gave them their life back, so I can imagine they probably would like to.
Mr. President, what does it mean when you said that Biden took bad advice and not pardoning himself yesterday?
Well, he did. I think he did, because he pardoned all these people that are crooked as hell. Look, the congressmen, they're crooked. What they did is they destroyed evidence. When you destroy evidence, especially criminally like that, they did it criminally. And the reason they destroyed the evidence is because it proved that I was right. They didn't destroy evidence for no reason. They destroyed it because they found many documents saying that I offered 10,000 soldiers. If they had 500 soldiers or National Guard, there would have been no problem. If they had 200, that would have been. I offered 10,000 if they needed them. There would have been no problem. That's been now totally disproven. And it's also been disproven by Nancy Pelosi's daughter, who has her on tape saying it was her fault, that she has full responsibility for this. And they have all that stuff. They destroyed everything. And they go through a year and a half, 2 years of nonsense. They come up with tremendous evidence, and they destroyed evidence. And Schiff knew about it. That's why he's on there. He knew all about the destruction of evidence. A lot of people said he's the one that got him to do it. And he's a crooked guy, totally crooked politician. And so he's pardoned, and some other people are pardoned. And these are crooked politicians, every one of them. Benny Johnson, what he did is incredible. I mean, he was the leader of the committee, and he did it. Cheney, crying Adam Kinzinger, all of them. They destroyed evidence and deleted everything. There's nothing. There's no evidence now.
I didn't do it.
They're crooked politicians, and they should be punished.
No!
That's even in a civil trial, you go to jail for a thing like that. They destroyed every document, from what I understand, every document, because it proved that I was totally innocent.
I didn't destroy any documents. He meant Benny Thompson. I'm Benny Johnson. Benny Thompson
Southern border?
is different.
Yes,
When
the
you
border.
say southern border, when I said 10,000 troops, I was referring to the capital.
Oh, I see. And
No,
when
you
does
gotta
that?
look.
When
I
do you
was referring to
plan?
the
When do you
capital.
plan
I
to do
offered
that?
10,000 troops for the capital before January 6th.
And as for the 1,500 at the southern border, sorry to clarify, what exactly do you want them to be doing right now?
Making sure that the border is safe and secure, and that criminals don't come into our country.
Mr. President, do you think that sanctions on Russia will force President Putin to negotiate?
I don't know, but I think he should make a deal.
Mr. President, does it bother you that Elon Musk criticized a deal that you made publicly, that he said that he tweeted that?
No, it doesn't. He hates one of the people in the deal.
Have you spoken to him since then?
No, I've spoken to Elon, but I've spoken to all of them, actually. No, the people in the deal are very, very smart people. But Elon, one of the people he happens to hate, but I have certain hatreds of people too.
Sir, on China, what do you think Xi Jinping can do on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Which one?
The Ukraine-Russia war. What can Xi Jinping do about that?
China?
Yeah.
They have a lot of power over Russia. They supply energy to Russia. And Russia supplies energy to them. They supply other things to, it's really a very big trade. It's a very big trading partner. But Russia supplies a lot of energy to China. China pays them a lot of money for that. And I think they have a lot of power over Russia. So I think Russia should want to make a deal. Maybe they want to make a deal. I think from what I hear, Putin would like to see me, and we'll meet as soon as we can. I'd meet immediately. Every day we don't meet, soldiers are being killed in a battlefield. And that battlefield is like no battlefield since World War II.
You
That's
said
it.
that Ukraine wants
And
to...
I have pictures that you don't want to see. Soldiers are being killed on a daily basis at numbers that we haven't seen in decades. And it'd be nice to end that war. It's a ridiculous war.
You said that Ukraine's ready to make a deal. Did President Zelensky tell you that personally?
Yeah, sure. He's ready to negotiate a deal. He'd like to stop. He's somebody that lost a lot of soldiers And so did Russia, lost a lot. Russia lost more soldiers. They lost 800,000 soldiers. Would you say that's a lot? I'd say it's a lot.
Mr. President, you said that you wanted to make Dr. King's dream a reality. What's your response to his children and civil rights leaders who say that your DEI orders are a contradiction of his dream and could further drive racial disparities?
Well, I haven't heard that.
Mr. President, you put the Houthis back on the terror list. How do you see the war in Yemen end?
Well, we'll see what happens, but they can't shoot down our ships, the Houthis.
Yes.
They're not, you can't shoot down our ships, or any ships, and that's what they've been doing, so they're on the terror list. That's not good for them.
So why did you revoke security protections for former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Brian Hook?
Well, the same reason I did. When you have protection, you can't have it for the rest of your life. Do you want to have a large detail of people guarding people for the rest of their lives? I mean, there's risks to everything.
So would you support striking Iran's nuclear facilities?
Say it?
Would you support Israel, for example, striking Iran's nuclear facilities?
Well, I'm
or
not
do you
going to
believe
answer
in
that.
diplomacy?
Obviously, I'm not going to answer that question. We'll have to see. I'm going to be meeting with various people over the next couple of days, and we'll see. But hopefully that can be worked out without having to worry about it. It would be nice. It would really be nice if that could be worked out without having to go that further step.
And who are you going to meet with or something?
Well, I'd rather not say that, but very high-level people. But hopefully that can be worked out. Look, Iran hopefully will make a deal, and if they don't make a deal, I guess that's okay too.
And Mr. President, just to follow up, you said you think the Fed should listen to you. Can you elaborate on why you think it should?
With regard to interest rates?
Correct, yes.
Because I think I know interest rates much better than they do. And I think I know it certainly much better than the one who's primarily in charge of making that decision. But no, I'm guided by them very much. But if I disagree, I will let it be known.
So your tariff plans for China and Mexico are much tougher, or the ones for Canada and Mexico are much tougher than the one for China. Why is it softer for China?
Well, China's already paying a lot of tariffs because of me. And when you add them up, I would say, they're paying a lot. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars. They never paid 10 cents until I came along. When I came along, they've paid hundreds of billions of dollars. Never paid anything. And so they've already started at a higher base.
Is February 1st the date for Chinese tariffs as well, sir? February 1, or was that just Mexico and Canada?
It's Mexico and Canada, but we're talking about China too. Look, China's sending us tremendous amounts of bad drugs, fentanyl, really bad stuff. Most of it comes through Mexico. And we're losing, I think, 300,000 lives a year because of that. People say 150, 100, 120. I think 300,000 lives a year. Those are old numbers. The lower number is a low number. And we can't have that. They've got to stop sending it. I had a deal with President Xi, but it was a deal that wasn't followed up by Biden, of course, where they were going to issue the death penalty to people that make fentanyl, and that would have stopped it. But we'll have to stop it with tariffs. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys,
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you,
guys. Hey, press, let's go. Thanks, guys. Nope, guys, let's go. Time to go. Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right. I just got put on blast by the President of the United States. I need a pardon now. Hashtag free Benny. This is a public service announcement. Benny Johnson has never worked with Democrats on the January 6th committee to destroy evidence. Ever. I wouldn't do that. Yet President Trump just said that Benny Johnson destroyed evidence with Nancy Pelosi and Liz Cheney. If you know anything about me, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like Liz Cheney. We refer to her often as the Muppet Miss Piggy. If you know anything about me, I don't like insider trading or traitors. I don't like Nancy Pelosi. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't like vodka that much. I don't like dentures. I don't like insurrections. Fedsurrections. These are not the kind of people I want to hang out with. Now, in my defense, as I potentially await federal prosecution here, in my defense, there is a member of the committee named Benny Thompson. Please get me the documentation of this. I want to show you who Benny Thompson is. I'm going to show you that I don't look like him at all. That he ain't me, okay? It ain't me. It wasn't me. All right? This is an Akon rap, okay? It wasn't me. Shaggy, okay? I'm Shaggy, all right? It wasn't me. This is Benny Thompson. I am Benny Johnson, okay? Benny Thompson, who is a member of Congress from Mississippi. He's got a beard. He's got like maybe 400, 700 pounds on me. And he just like looks quite different, let's just say, than me. He sort of looks like a thumb. He's thummy. That ain't me. That ain't me. Copper. Mr. President, sir, in all due respect, not the same Benny. I think he spells his name differently, too. He spells his name, I think, with like a little I and a heart, it's like a heart, like with the dot that dots the I. Bennie. Dude, that's a loser name. Okay, that's a horrible way to spell it. You spell it with a hard Y. Obviously, everyone knows this. If you want to be called Beanie for the rest of your days, or if you want people to like not know what your pronouns are, then spell it like that. Thompson, Johnson, very different. Ladies and gentlemen, this individual did collude with the January 6th committee, did destroy documents, did hide evidence, did misuse taxpayer funds. And so I beg of you, Mr. President, may I please have a pardon? This is my plea to you. I beg of you, allow me to come to the White House and do the first stream with you inside the Oval Office. Allow our team to come, we'll do a stream, and we can set the record straight. We can do it right here on the channel. Not the same Benny, not the same last name, ladies and gentlemen. This is what President Trump was talking about. House GOP allege that January 6th committee deleted records and hid evidence. This is what Tucker Carlson found when he was given the opportunity to look through all the footage. He found that there were markers where he could see Liz Cheney actually watched the videos that exonerated peaceful protesters on January 6th, that proved that Brian Sicknick wasn't killed by MAGA, and so many other supposed crimes that were all lies. This is what Donald Trump was talking about. He was right. Although it is wonderful to know that, and this is a Freudian slip, I got it, not to go too hard on my president here. This is something that Steve Bannon has said. I don't even want to log into X and check my mentions right now. Steve Bannon made this joke once. It was a joke. Steve Bannon said Benny Johnson said to Benny Thompson. And now Donald Trump does it. So FML. FML. I assure you, federal authorities, I assure you, Tom Homan, I'm here legally. Tom Homan, please do not raid my house. I'm here legally. I was born here. I can prove it. Okay? You want me to sing? You want me to sing the national anthem? You want me to say the Pledge of Allegiance? I can say it better than Kamala. I promise you that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially destroyed. Please, please, please do not arrest me. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was that other guy. Okay? That other guy. So anyway, I apologize to you, and I beg, Mr. President. One, pardon me, and two, we can set this all straight by letting us stream live from the Oval Office in an interview with you. I promise you I will ask a much shorter question than Sean Hannity. I promise. I promise you my questions will be much snappier, much faster. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. Well, I just got put on blast by the President of the United States. We're going to have to do some crisis PR. Hey, Alex. All right. So all kidding aside, I'm very thankful that the president actually knows it's nice to be top of mind. Final thing I'll say here. If you want to turn a dark cloud into a silver lining positive, how about this one? Donald Trump is aware of our content. He's aware of our work. He watches our show. Donald Trump's Donald Trump shouting out your boy. I'll view it as a shout out. How about that? I'll view it as a shout out that we're just top of mind for a Freudian slip. President Trump has regularly shared our content. He does put our stuff up on Truth Social. Many of our YouTube videos, various pieces of content, sometimes our tweets, go up on his Truth Social account. And his staff is very familiar with us. And as you know, if you are familiar with the show, members of the Trump administration are on this joint live with us all the time. All the time. Wait for them to be confirmed. This is going to be your front row seat to the golden era. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a, again, very important moment that I want to not like joke through, because it hasn't been a joke for pro-life activists who simply want to stop the murder of the unborn in this country. These activists did nothing. They simply prayed outside of an abortion clinic. Joe Biden's DOJ treated them like they treated the J6ers. They took off the kid gloves, the way that they treated BLM and Antifa activists who literally burned down and tried to kill our president. They took those gloves off and they put on boxing gloves to beat these people and destroy their lives. It's so evil. Trump expected to pardon pro-life activists convicted under FACE Act. So he's now done this, but let's just read really quickly here what he's done. President Donald Trump is expected to pardon pro-life activists convicted under the FACE Act, Biden's administration in the coming days. The pardons, first reported by the Daily Wire, would apply to activists convicted of protesting abortion clinics during various demonstrations. The details and scopes of the pardon have yet to be revealed. Thomas Shalika, a spokesperson for the pro-life firm Thomas More Society, confirmed plans to Fox News Digital. News of the plans come just one day before the March for Life, the annual pro-life march that takes place in Washington, D.C. It's going to be tomorrow. Senator Josh Hawley called on Trump to pardon the activists convicted under the FACE Act, since the president was sworn into office. No administration in history has targeted Christians like the Biden administration. We saw one persecution after another, shutting down churches during COVID, raiding pro-life homes, and at the crack of dawn, every pro-life prisoner and Biden wrongly imprisoned and should be pardoned, says Josh Hawley. Hawley then spoke with Trump about the potential pardon plan, saying that had a great conversation. Mike Lee, friend of the show, of Utah, has introduced legislation that would dismantle the FACE Act. Many lawmakers have argued that Democratic administrations have weaponized this against pro-life groups. 97% of FACE Act prosecutions between the years of 1994 to 2004 were initiated against pro-life Americans. That's crazy. It is laughable that this law has been weaponized. Let's put this on the president's desk and repeal it for all. Very good. Just to show you some of the horrors of what these pro-lifers did. Look at them. Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh, that's fine. I mean, it's like it you know, everyone, yeah. It's like, look at, oh, wow. They sat and they prayed in a hallway. And they were all arrested, and many of them currently in prison. Do you remember some of the special videos from our Summer of Love? These ravenous animal orcs, goblins, and demons went through like trying to murder people in the streets, and none of them got anything. So this is a wonderful moment in American history. I look forward to hopefully booking some of these individuals on the show. They face up to 11 years in prison for praying and singing hymns outside of a Nashville abortion center. There are others, but his is just this is one example. A federal court found these 6 pro-life activists guilty after protesting outside of an abortion clinic. Totally, completely evil, ladies and gentlemen. So the other major breakaway and takeaway news is that Donald Trump signed a crypto national reserve, sort of get that process started, and then signed an executive order to make AI very competitive here in the United States of America. And then, of course, as we were talking about before the feed started, Donald Trump declassifying the RFK, JFK, and MLK files. I find it very, very interesting that the MLK files are in there. MLK obviously was somebody who was targeted and harassed and tortured by our feds, our federal agencies. They regularly wiretapped him and listened to him. They created documents that included suicide letters that he could just sign and then go kill himself. You think that's like super dark and evil? Bro, it's literally exists on the FBI website right now. You can go to the FBI website right now and go to the MLK files, and you can find the suicide letters they wrote for him to sign before encouraging him to kill himself. This is how this is in the 60s. How much more dark and evil have these agencies become? Yeah. So it's time. Donald Trump has given the Director of National Intelligence, which is going to be Tulsi Gabbard, 15 days to release the JFK documents, and then 45 days to release the RFK and Martin Luther King archives, and so that's going to be, next month. This is going to be a wild romp, ladies and gentlemen. What an unbelievable time to be alive. Some more breaking news. While we're at it, why not? Let's rock it. Pete Hegseth, confirmation, has advanced. 51 U.S. senators moving Pete Hegseth's nomination into a final vote tomorrow in the Senate. Multiple senators are saying that he has the votes. Mark Wayne Mullen, friend of the show. Pete Hegseth has 51 votes necessary to clear final confirmation vote. So we are going to be, ladies and gentlemen, getting Pete Hegseth in the chart tomorrow. The procedural vote advanced the nomination by a 1-vote margin. Here's what happens. If it's 50-50, then J.D. Vance can cast a tie-breaking vote. You still get it. So you have 2 Republicans. Those Republicans are Lisa Murkowski, the raggedy, witch-like character from Alaska, who continues to win her seat even though she loses her Republican primary. That's happened now in 2 elections. She loses her Republican primary and then wins because of something called ranked choice voting in Alaska that allows you to effectively run as an independent after losing your primary in a major party and to do write-in, to do like a write-in. And if you were wondering who's behind all that, because that sounds very expensive and complicated, the answer to your questions, ladies and gentlemen, is the turtle living inside of the Galapagos exhibit at your local zoo known as Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell took your donor dollars that you sent to the Republican Senatorial Committee and used it to save Lisa Murkowski. This is why you have votes against Pete Hegseth. Susan Collins is a whole different thing in Maine. Maine is a blue state that has a red senator, so you'd expect there to be some type of attrition there. It's still unacceptable. But Alaska is a dark red state that votes for Donald Trump by 10 points. So Lisa Murkowski is a absolute wicked, raggedy, IQ of 50, degenerate, and I'm sickened by her. And so those are the 2 Republicans. Mitch McConnell actually voted in favor of Pete Hegseth, and the indications are that Mitch McConnell is going to vote for Pete Hegseth. Is he doing that under his own power? Not sure. Mitch McConnell is doing very, very badly these days. Ladies and gentlemen, okay. Speaking of people who will most likely be doing very badly these days is Joe Biden. Joe Biden, on his way out, decided to pardon his entire family. Missing from this list is the name Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden up here, as President of the United States, to all whom these presents shall come greeting, be it known that on this day, Joe Biden, United States, pursuant to my powers under Article of the Constitution, I've granted to James Biden, Sarah Jones Biden, that's James Biden's wife, Valerie Biden Owens, that's his sister, John T. Owens, and Francis W. Biden, these are his brothers and family, full and unconditional pardon, going all the way back to 2014 when all the Burisma business began. Now, why are we bringing this up? Because this happened on Monday, and that seems like an eternity ago in this news cycle. Well, because Donald Trump has often promised retribution. Donald Trump has promised to be our retribution. Donald Trump has regularly promised that he is not going to treat kindly the people who have destroyed this country. And when Donald Trump says things like, my revenge will be success, and I will be a dictator on just for one day. Just one day. Maybe you should listen. Donald Trump is not happy about the way that he was treated. Donald Trump is angry about it, and he has every damn right to be. Donald Trump called Joe Biden and his ilk scum yesterday during a live interview with Sean Hannity that we covered as well. Here's how it went.
Through 4 years of hell,
by the scum that we had to deal with. I went through 4 years of hell. I spent millions of dollars in legal fees, and I won. But I did it the hard way. It's really hard to say that they shouldn't have to go through it also. It is very hard to say that.
That they shouldn't have to go through it also. And who he's talking about, of course, is Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and the Biden Justice Department, who have used the federal government and the unlimited resources of the federal government to attack private citizens. And, you know, it's very expensive, actually, when you don't have government lawyers and taxpayers footing the bill. It's going to cost you millions and millions of dollars just to, like, defend yourself against subpoenas. It is a torturous process. It's a way to bankrupt somebody, and it's a way to actually end them without ever having to get a conviction. How much has Donald Trump paid in legal fees this year alone? It has to be to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. And the vast majority of Americans don't have that kind of cash lying around. And so Donald Trump was saying this last night, and the note got brought up that Joe Biden didn't pardon himself. Now, Joe Biden didn't actually pardon himself. He pardoned his family, which is a little curious because it was Joe Biden who was the ringleader in all of this. Now, what happened next was Donald Trump talked about, hey, maybe it's time for us to prosecute Joe Biden. Well, you know, he just happened to forget to pardon himself since he's the person who ran this crime family. Maybe this is the moment.
Biden, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, who got a preemptive pardon. All these people that got pardoned. Anthony Fauci. Did he know that NIH money through the EcoHealth Alliance was funding the Wuhan Virology Lab? There seems to be text and messages and emails that went back and forth. You talk about the unselect committee, as you call it, the January 6th committee. They had a predetermined outcome. General Milley, all these people, the Biden family members. Joe Biden ran and said he would never do preemptive pardons. It was an issue that came up when you were leaving in your first time.
He heard that I was going to do it. I didn't want to do it. I was given the option. They said, sir, would you like to pardon everybody, including yourself? I said, I'm not going to pardon anybody. We didn't do anything wrong. And we had people that suffered. They're incredible patriots. We had people that suffered. You had Bannon put in jail. You had Peter Navarro put in jail. You had people that suffered. And far worse than that, they've lost their fortunes. They've lost their nest egg, paying it to lawyers. And those people, and people said, and they wouldn't have even taken, most of those people, they wouldn't have even taken a pardon. This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him. I mean, the money went to him.
Should Congress investigate that?
Well, I don't know. It's, you know,
you ordered the DOJ.
I've always been, look, he didn't give himself a pardon. And he didn't give some other people a pardon that needed it. And I heard Schiff went to him and just begged him for a pardon because Schiff is a crook. Yeah. Schiff is a crooked guy. He's a crooked politician. He made up the story about Russia. He totally made it up. You know, he's a storyteller. And then after he made it up, they found out that there was a tape of the conversation made by, you know, I guess the State Department. I don't know. When you make calls, they make tapes sometimes, not all the time.
He was the one talking to the Russians.
So he, in the meantime, made up the conversation, totally made it up about quid pro quo. There was no quid pro quo, just there was a perfect call. Tim Scott was the first one to come. He read it. He said, this is a perfect call. What are you doing? You're impeaching a man for a perfect call. It was Schiff, Hillary, the whole group. You know what? Schiff is just a bad, sick guy. And he went to Biden and he demanded a pardon because he thought he did something. He knew he did something.
Oh, man. There it was. I'm getting stressed out here. He just said Benny Thompson. Right? So Sean Hannity just said Benny Thompson. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is that Joe Biden seemingly made what might have been an actual mistake. Klein, can you load up some of these memes? These are like actually really funny. What seems to have been a severe potential mistake. Joe Biden refused to pardon himself. And now all of the internet is ablaze with the question, hold up. The Supreme Court ruled pretty authoritatively that presidents cannot be prosecuted for official acts. This is how the ruling came down from the Supreme Court in a large majority ruling. So if you can't be prosecuted for an official act, then the question is, what are unofficial acts? Well, unofficial acts are when you're not president. When did Joe Biden make all of his money? When he was not president. When did Joe Biden commit all of his crimes? When he was not president. When did Burisma happen? And the China deal? When did all this stuff happen? Either when Joe Biden was vice president or in the 4 years that Joe Biden wasn't serving at all. When did all of the classified documents live inside of Joe Biden's garage next to his Corvette? When was Joe Biden, the big guy, getting all this equity being held for him inside of all these shady deals? Yo, you could like really put the screws to this guy, and then you could use his entire family to testify against him because now you've waived your Fourth Amendment rights. If you got a pardon. Trump hints at Biden prosecution. It's really hard to say that they shouldn't have to go through it all. Uh-oh. Oh, no. President Trump accused former President Joe Biden of corruption Wednesday and hinted that he may be prosecuted. It's really hard to say they shouldn't have to go through it, Trump says in his first TV interview returning to the White House. Trump 78 said that Biden 82 received a very, very bad advice to pardon 5 relatives, but not himself. Minutes before leaving the office and heading off, inquiries into the Biden family business dealings remain unanswered. You know, the sad thing is, he didn't give himself a pardon, says Trump. Look at this photo. And then you got Joe over here. Oh, man. He knows, doesn't he? This is a great photo. He knows. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Joe Biden does always look like one of those wax Madame Tussauds figures, like of Joe Biden. Like if Madame Tussauds did a Joe Biden wax figure, it's actually what Joe Biden looks like. He looks like a formaldehyde corpse. When they do like an open casket and you're like, ew, yikes. When like they have Vladimir Lenin, right, under glass for like 80 years in the Soviet Union, and you can go up there and see Lenin. Yeah, it's like what Joe Biden looks like. Anyway, the point is, and if you look at it, it all had to do with him. I mean, the money went to him, says Donald Trump. This is correct. Biden pardoned all 3 of his siblings, including his brother James and their 2 spouses, pardoning his son Hunter. I went through 4 years of this scum and I had to deal with it, said Donald Trump. Remember this, Trump went on. Joe Biden got very bad advice. Joe Biden, very bad advisors. Somebody advised Joe Biden to give pardons to everybody but him. At one point in the interview, Hannity asked Trump if he had ordered the DOJ to investigate Biden. Look, he didn't give a pardon to himself, and he didn't give some other people pardons that needed it. Okay. Very much looking forward to that. Nancy Pelosi didn't get a pardon. Tick-tock, Nancy. Hope your trades are going well, and you've saved up some money for lawyers. For years, James Biden leveraged his brother's powerful role as a senator and vice president to lure domestic and international business, in many cases partnering with his son Hunter, and it's unclear what possible crimes Joe Biden would be investigated by the Trump department. Some theoretical offenses, such as infractions under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, have 5-year statutes of limitations and would not be chargeable. Investigations can happen into this kind of stuff without you having to like bring charges. You can just open investigations. It's rare for a former president to face criminal investigation charges. However, Biden's Justice Department indicted Trump on a pair of cases after his first term, allegedly mishandling classified documents. Biden, like Trump, was investigated for mishandling classified documents, but they said that he was an elderly man with too poor of a memory. Yes, Joe Biden needs to wear a helmet to go to the bathroom, and so that's why they said they can't charge him. So anyway, the point is we may be getting a Joe Biden prosecution from Donald Trump, which I would love. Because turnabout is fair play, and maybe the easiest way, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and the easiest way to fix all this is just to scorch the earth, to salt the earth. Make them feel the same pain, and then they'll stop doing it. This guy went around giving everybody pardons, and the funny thing is, the sad thing is, that he didn't give himself a pardon, said Donald Trump knowingly, saying that he went through hell, and nobody should have to go through this again. And so maybe the best way to prove, maybe the best deterrent, we always talk about this, nuclear deterrence. Why does nuclear deterrence work? Because, well, your enemy has a nuke too. And so you want to not launch nukes because I want to launch a nuke at you. And wouldn't that be nice to launch a nuke, proverbially, at the Bidens? So that nobody does this kind of lawfare against their political enemies ever again. That would be a good deterrence. Right now, all they've done is go after Donald Trump. So technically, until this is reversed and against the left, they're going to still assume that this is just open season to attack Trump and Trump supporters. Mike Johnson, who's really coming to his own, quite frankly, I think he's been doing actually a pretty great job. Speaker Mike Johnson says that Congress must investigate Joe Biden's pardons of his family members and Joe Biden. Oh my, here we go.
Speaker, to potentially have any type of congressional action on the pardons that President Biden issued over the last couple of days?
It was shocking. I mean, it was shocking what President Biden did on the way out, pardoning his family for more than a decade of whatever activity, any nonviolent offenses. It was breathtaking to us. I don't think that's anything like that's ever been anticipated. And by the way, go look at the tape, 4 years ago, when it was just implied that President Trump might do something similar. They were apoplectic. Joe Biden himself, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, roll the tape. They all said that would be crazy and unconscionable, and now they're cheering it along. To us, it is disgusting. To us, it probably proves the point, the suspicion, that, they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right? Look, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to this, and I think that is appropriate, and we will be looking at it as well. So, yeah.
Very good. Very good. Man, boy's got his big boy pants on now. He's ready. He's actually behaving like a true leader, like a true speaker. I think it takes you a second to sort of corral the chickens. But now Mike Johnson is doing what we hired him to do, right? And this is exactly what Congress should be looking at and investigating. And oh, by the way, it is the House that can refer for prosecution and jail people like Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro. They did this to them, and now it's time for nuclear deterrence, ladies and gentlemen. We've had so many members of these committees, but James Comer and Jim Jordan come to mind. James Comer and Jim Jordan are on our program weekly. And they are here, and they are rolling with us, and they are explaining to us the crimes of the Biden family. James Comer has literally sat on this program for hours with details and receipts of how criminal Joe Biden is. And so it seems as though what's about to happen is that you're going to get criminal referrals out of the House committee, the Judiciary Committee, specifically Government Oversight and Accountability. And that's going to be referred to the Judiciary Committee. Chairman Jordan is going to send that to the DOJ. Pam Bondi is going to send that to Kash Patel at the FBI. And bingo, bongo, Joe Biden is going to be in some real deep trouble. So that's what we expect to happen. And it's going to be quite interesting to see, ladies and gentlemen. Although, let's just say that Joe Biden is already getting memory hold by the internet, by his dear friends at Google, the organization that Joe Biden worked so hard to censor shows like ours, to censor the internet. Joe Biden thought that he had big tech in his back pocket. Leftists thought that they had big tech in their back pocket. But here, ladies and gentlemen, is the head of Facebook and Amazon and Google, right here, and Elon Musk, and, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim Cook is in there somewhere. Tim Cook was there. So you have Apple, Amazon, Google, Instagram, and Facebook, X, all of the big tech platforms, the major players were there, along with, I know, the CEO of Rumble as well, celebrating President Trump's inauguration. So I guess that's a massive backfire. And now something exciting has happened Google has forgotten Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, when you Google, put the U.S. presidents in order, there is no Joe Biden anymore on Google. It goes Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, 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 Trump. That's it. We checked this out this morning. This is completely real. Joe Biden has been totally memory hold. Blistering final insult from Google's search engine after Trump takes office. Joe Biden was hit with one final insult in the Donald Trump White House. Social media users have pointed out that Democrat was left out of search engine results. It showed Barack Obama, and then it showed both of Trump's terms. They deleted Joe Biden's terms from 2021 to 2025. One angry X post read, "Hey Google, you want to explain this effing S?" U.S. presidents in order. Biden completely cut out. A second said, "Go Google search for U.S. presidents. Y'all are not going to believe this. Hint, that someone's missing from their list. Hey Google, you seem to be missing the man who was president for the last 4 years." It's so good. Google then had to rush to fix the error, but I don't know, how can I donate? Like, how do I get the error back? How can I get it to do this again? The greatest final insult here, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a thing of beauty, though. Look at Trump's face on there twice. It's true. Google skips Biden. There are thousands of users on my timeline that showed this, and oh man, makes me really, really happy. It looks like Google aborted Joe Biden from the search results as Donald Trump pardons the abortion activists, pro-life activists protesting against abortion. So just in time, ladies and gentlemen, and Joe Biden gets aborted. Google doesn't show Biden anymore as a president. Are they trying to erase history completely? Does Google know that Joe Biden was not a legitimate president? Is that what Google knows? Even Google is hiding Biden. Yes. I rarely use this app, but because others are talking about it on the other app, I thought I'd bring this to the side too. When people are Googling who the U.S. president was during the Biden years, the answer is Donald Trump. Hello? I know the comment section is going to be lit up on this one. It's a lot of people, like you go to conferences and stuff, and a lot of people, I'm okay with like entertaining it. It's funny. A lot of people like come up to you and they're like, you know, Donald Trump has been president the entire 4 years of Joe Biden. That Donald Trump was the active president. Okay, cool. Man, I'm down. Why not? Dude, I would freaking buy me a ticket to that movie. That Donald Trump was like the secret president this entire time? Why not? Why not? Is that what Google's trying to tell us? Google took hours to actually acknowledge that Joe Biden was a president. This timeline. I just can't get over how excited I am about this current moment in American history. You ever seen anything like, I mean, not AI, is this? It's like a Norman Rockwell painting. You seen anything like this? Oh, it's beautiful. Can I get this tattooed? Get this as a tramp stamp? See ya! Look at that. Saying goodbye. Can we put this on our currency? Can this be on the back of the new $100 bill? So awesome. Who was counting on Joe Biden tripping down the stairs of Marine One? I was saying he's going to do it. I'm going to bet on it. I'm going to put some money down on Polymarket or Cashy or whatever. Will Joe Biden fall down the stairs of Marine One? Ladies and gentlemen, I have no proof that he did, but I don't really need it because, you know, it happened up here. We've seen it happen too many times live. It's been tough to watch, and it's great to have American strength back. American strength means when you're a criminal alien and you come into this country and you defy our laws and you take advantage of our people and you commit crimes, that you have to go bye-bye. Jaw-dropping outburst of Haitian migrant. Stop saying migrant. You're misgendering them. The term is criminal alien because, and I don't care if you're like a nun or if you are a mass murderer, they're both the same because they're criminal aliens. They weren't invited into this country. They don't belong in this country, and you got to go home. If you want to come in the right way, the way my ancestors did, the way his ancestors did, the way all of our, then fine. But just kicking in the door and breaking our laws is a bad way to get an invite. You wouldn't be invited back to a house party if you just kicked in a window and climbed into the house. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're gone now. Cook a nice dish, knock on the door politely, ring the doorbell, and wait for us to open the door. There's going to be no doors opened, I think, for a very long time inside of the Trump administration. They've canceled all appointments, and they are now doing ICE raids, and they're starting in Massachusetts. This is something that I didn't see in my bingo cards. They're starting in like Boston and Rhode Island. They're doing raids on immigration lawyers' offices, which is very interesting. And a bunch of feds raid the immigration offices. And Haitian migrant screaming while they're screaming, "I'm not going back to Haiti," as they're being shoved into the ICE vehicle. Expect a lot more videos like this. Here you go. Clearly as a scholar, a doctor, a surgeon, aerospace engineer. Clearly somebody who's saying he's saying F Trump, F Biden, I'm not effing going back. Yeah, I mean, truly, when Donald Trump says they're not sending their best. Ladies and gentlemen, what Joe Biden, what Kamala Harris did to this country should never, ever, ever be forgiven. You should never forget that they tried to permanently change the fabric of this nation to turn us into a third world country, to create a zero trust society, to make sure that your children must live in fear and your neighborhoods must be filthy and unsafe, so that they could manipulate the Electoral College by counting in the census illegal criminal aliens and having them vote illegally in our elections. That was what this all was about. There is no like question whether that was true or not anymore. It is obvious, it is empirical, it is demonstrable, and now you have to go home. Here's what the Fox News cameras covered this morning on one of what will be a daily occurrence, the ICE raids, sending them back. Let's go.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
So, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, shortly after we finished filming, ICE Boston told us they arrested 2 more targets in other parts of town away from our cameras. One of those targets is a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested for raping a woman while putting a gun in her mouth. The other target they got is a Haitian man who first flew into the United States in 2023 as part of President Biden's controversial migrant flights mass parole program. Well, they just picked him up yesterday because he's been arrested locally for sexual assault. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Malhusian, it was fascinating to watch all of that. I think I was just saying to Bill, this is terrible for Joe Biden and the legacy that he tried to leave behind. A question from me, how soon will they actually be leaving the country? Does that take a long time?
It depends what country they're from. If they're from cooperable countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, countries like that, it can be quick. It can be within days or weeks. If it's countries that are harder to deport, countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much, it can go into a process of months. But the Trump administration is changing policies with something called expedited removal. The bottom line is people at home don't need to understand all the policies. The Trump administration is just going to work as fast as they can to get all the people you just saw on camera there out of the country as fast as possible. They're also going to use their State Department, now led by Marco Rubio, to put pressure on countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much when it comes to those deportations.
Bill, just two points of clarification here. It seems a lot of these crimes are associated with sex crimes. I'm just looking at the list a bit earlier today. I don't know if that generally is the case or not. And second, if Boston's a sanctuary city, how are they allowed to do this? Because we told there would be resistance.
Boston doesn't have to cooperate with ICE, but there's nothing they can do to stop ICE from coming into their city and enforcing the law. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And that's the point ICE makes to us is, look, they don't have to cooperate with our detainer requests. They don't have to tell our officers when they're releasing somebody from jail. But we're going to do our job. We have our intel guys out in the field. We have people with eyes all over the place, and we're going to snatch those guys. So they can make ICE's job more difficult, longer, and more dangerous, but it's not going to stop ICE from doing the job, guys. The bottom line is, ICE says it's safer for everybody involved if locals would just hand these guys over in jail once they're arrested, but they don't. They let them out onto the streets. They don't tell ICE about it, so ICE has to spend a lot of resources gathering intel, finding these guys, and then going out into the community to do arrests, which could be dangerous. You saw that combative Haitian man, and then you saw, in the case of that one MS-13 member, his friend got snagged. They weren't even looking for him. They were looking for the MS-13 guy. They picked him up because a sanctuary jurisdiction released the MS-13 guy. ICE found him and then found the guy he was in the apartment with. They found out he was an illegal alien as well. So now he's going to be deported too.
Wow.
Amazing. Bill Malhusian, thank you so much.
Yes,
More to come on that.
Thank you, Bill.
It was the F-aroundest of times, and it was the find-outingest of times. A lot of these individuals effed around, and now they'll find out. One of the single greatest videos ever in the history of the internet is a video of a liberal white woman from Boston. Maybe these were some of her Haitian migrants who were using migrants as effectively slave labor. We have the video. We have the video. It's worth grabbing. We have the video. This lady, this lib from Boston, who has these Haitians living with her, and she's like, it's so great. They cook, they clean, they don't leave a big mess, and they live here in the house, and they do all my cooking and all my cleaning. And they do what I say. And it's really special. And it's almost like this is what the Democratic Party was built to protect, this system. It's amazing. Like, they don't even see it, do they? They don't even, the connections don't get made, do they? Ding, ding dong. Anybody? No? Bueller? Anything? Ladies and gentlemen, it's really fun that some of the help is now being deported from these left-wing Democrats in Boston, even though they don't like it. Here we go. Just to prove to you that I know my stuff, here it is. Here's the clip of the lady so excited about her new help.
Story you'll only see here on NBC 10 Boston. A migrant family from Haiti is sharing their experience. They're searching for shelter in the Boston area and then recently found a host home in Brookline. And now they're looking for jobs. As NBC 10's Aaron Logan reports, they say these last few weeks have been life-changing. And
it's been an emotional few weeks for Wildande Joseph and her husband. First, sleeping on the floor at Logan Airport, then in Children's Hospital with their 2-year-old daughter who got very sick.
Me siento mal. Es muy difícil este tiempo.
She felt bad, as any mother would. Now things are looking much brighter as they've been welcomed into Lisa Hillenbrand's Brookline apartment.
Tu niña es muy alegre ahora.
Sí, muy alegre. Cuando se levanta en la mañana, se dice, "Hi, Lisa."
Oh. She says her daughter is very happy. When she wakes up in the morning, she says, "Hi, Lisa," and everyone starts the day smiling.
It's a delight, and it's really fun having them. What I realized is there's so much prejudice against refugees, mostly because people don't know them.
Lisa says she feels like she has her own personal chef, as Wildande loves cooking.
¿Te gusta la ocupación?
Sí.
In fact, her goal is to open up her own restaurant.
Quiero tener mi propio restaurante.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. They love to cook. They love to clean for me. People don't understand this system, says the white lib lady from Boston before putting her pillowcase on her head. What a joke. What a mess we've been through in this country. I say this often. It is not a progressive movement. It is a regressive movement. It's regressive. And it's immoral. And it's something that needs to obviously be fixed. And the best way to fix it is actually to make sure that low-key sociopaths, childless cat ladies like that, can't break American laws to bring people in to cook for them. Just thought. Speaking of somebody who might need a job as a short order cook, Jim Acosta out at CNN. Well, okay, not yet, but maybe. Jim Acosta is threatening to quit CNN because he's being moved to graveyard shift. How much more good news? I mean, are you sick of winning yet? CNN in turmoil as anti-Trump star Jim Acosta threatens to quit over midnight slot move. CNN anchor Jim Acosta is reportedly considering quitting the broadcaster after being demoted from his 10 a.m. show and threatened with banishment to Siberia Broadcasting. On Thursday, rumors that Acosta lost his morning show were confirmed by CNN boss Mark Thompson as 200 layoffs in the news division were announced. He'll be replaced at that time by Wolf Blitzer and Pamela Brown. Acosta is in talks with CNN bosses about another as yet unconfirmed role. We were in active discussions with Jim about a new time slot and have more information soon. The claims the anti-Trump anchor is destined for the graveyard slot at midnight have him pondering his future. The LA Times reporting that Acosta may now exit the network, according to people familiar with his thinking. He can go the way of Don Lemon and do these like extremely cringe TikToks and TikTok lives and whatever the hell Don Lemon is doing. Whatever Don Lemon is doing, I hear literally nothing about him anymore. And I used to hear a lot of headlines about Don Lemon. And banishment to obscurity is actually the greatest punishment for these people. They would probably prefer a Guantanamo Bay cell instead of people just not caring about them. So utterly narcissistic, so nihilistic. They just like, the cell. This is kind of like the iconoclast of somebody who made news about them. And, you know, I realize that we broadcast to channels that have our name on them, but like that's a different model than the CNN model, okay? The independent news and influencer model is totally different than I am going to be King Jim Acosta, the king of the White House, the king of truth, yelling and screaming and fighting White House staff. Remember, he did that. He like physically assaulted White House staff, a woman. And I'm going to do that with all of the weight of a billion-dollar company, CNN, behind me. It's completely different. Meanwhile, Fox News reported that Acosta is getting hosed inside of CNN offices over shocking demotion. An insider suggested that accepting a midnight to 2 a.m. slot is his only path forward at the network. Acosta's 10 a.m. ratings are good, but his notorious past clashes with Donald Trump are said to have made the network bosses nervous as Trump begins his second term. His verbal sparring matches with the administration and president himself saw him lose his press pass at one point. CNN successfully sued. However, network chiefs are said to be keenly aware and trying to water down the theatrics, moving Acosta to Siberia of television. So there you go. CNN and NBC News doing mass layoffs today. Meanwhile, we're hiring. Not Jim Acosta, though. Jim Acosta, you know what? We totally hire Jim Acosta. We need people to refill the Coke Zeros, yeah, to make the coffee. We need people around here to clean up, There are janitorial services, but, you can always use a little fresh, scrub down. Jim Acosta could, do DoorDash or Uber Eats on the side. And, there could be a whole new special life for you out there. He'll wind up on, dude, Jim Acosta's going to wind up on TikTok making the saddest, the most pathetic, saddest possible content. It's so cringe. It's so embarrassing how these people think they can just go out and do what we do and do streaming. They do not understand how pampered and pretentious their little lives are. And it's so fun to watch them go do this. This is what Chris Wallace said he was going to do. Chris Wallace is going to get into podcasting. Same with Jen Rubin. Oh, good luck. Good luck. I encourage you. I want you. I'm the only guy that I want more competition. Do it. I want it. I beg you, in fact. Jim Acosta's CNN colleagues applaud his banishment to the night shift after Trump baiting made him the network's least popular anchor. So now everyone's turning on Jim Acosta. Nobody loves himself like Jim Acosta loves himself. He's insufferable and an egomaniac. If he can make himself part of the story, he will. That's exactly what I'm saying. These are what CNN employees are telling the Daily Mail. Jim is one of the least liked, most eye-rolled of all-time talent at CNN. And this has been a long-standing status. Another added, his jealousy is even visibly thicker than his makeup and hardened hair gel. Jeez, just freaking savages. Acosta, 53, became famous for fighting with Donald Trump at press briefings and bickering. You are a rude, terrible, nasty person. President Trump clapped back. To the botherer-in-chief. Man, so they're going after, they're taking the long knives out for Jim. You remember this? This is where he assaulted the female staffer. So this is a female staffer, and he grabbed, she was trying to get the microphone because he was done asking his question. So he got to ask his question. And then Donald Trump has to sit there and defend the female staffer. Do you actually have this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go.
It's not an invasion. Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN. All right. And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
that's
I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation? Mr. President.
What a piece of garbage. So good for you. There's something else that happens there that's very, very interesting. There are other reporters around that want to ask questions, and they may also hate Donald Trump. But you don't get a chance to filibuster the entire time. Other people have to do their jobs as well. Anti-Trump Jim Acosta threatens to quit CNN. Oh, the Trump curse is so real. Acosta is reportedly considering leaving the network after being stripped of his 10 a.m. show. This is, by the way, the stripping of the show did not come because of rating. Now, ratings challenged CNN. CNN's ratings are absolutely in the tank. CNN ratings collapse. They are down 60%. There's no way that they can even... There's absolutely no way that they can even keep the current employment. This is why they fired 200 people today. There's a lot of people getting fired. But Jim Acosta's show, shockingly, was one that was doing fine. I'm not sure it's doing good, but it's doing fine. We get more viewers than Jim Acosta. And I thank you for that. I just want to send hearts to the chat. But this move is because Donald Trump is back in town. And clearly, the heads of CNN want to appease Donald Trump and want to play ball. And no doubt in my mind that one of the ways, that one of the leverage points to ensure that they were able to play ball is to say, you're going to make sure that I never turn on the TV and see Jim Acosta on there. Man, the Trump curse, dude, is so real. CNN major overhaul as it enters new Trump era. Mark Thompson has promised, this is the guy in charge of CNN, to reinvent CNN as he's arrived in 2023. Now he's making the network's TV lineup and its workforce. They're going to invite us on CNN? Is that what's going to happen? They're going to actually start bringing on conservatives? Give people news when and where they want it. Mark Thompson, CNN chief executive, is one of the brilliant minds Ted Turner had when he started the network at the dawn of the cable TV news era. CNN doesn't follow that advice. The digital age, Mark Thompson said, the company may not longer exist. So he's actually talking about ending CNN entirely. This is a moment where digital news feels like an existential question. Mr. Thompson says in an interview, if we do not follow the audience to new platforms with real conviction and scale, the future prospects will not be good. Well. So it looks like they are talking about what we do every single day. Welcome to the party, pal. CNN announcing 200 layoffs. Well, you know what? F around, find out. CNN layoffs revealed to be high-paid hosts who insisted he was leaving to pursue podcasts. Look at this guy, Chris Wallace. Remember Chris Wallace? Mr. wouldn't let Donald Trump bring up to Joe Biden's face Hunter Biden's crimes. Remember that? Because he's butt buddies with Joe Biden. Because he's best friends with Joe Biden. Chris Wallace and Joe Biden are best friends. Even though he's working at Fox News at the time. Yeah. The atomization of corporate media is upon us. Every show on MSNBC is down by between 50 and 60%. It's unsustainable. Unsustainable. CNN in flames. MSNBC in flames. You can see the numbers. You can see the numbers here. This is crazy. These are crazy numbers. Dude, this is the key demo right here, 25 to 54. You can see this, Fox News does 200,000. MSNBC does 41,000. That's crazy. We have, across our platforms, we have 3 times that watching this live right now. That's just wild, man. Just wild. What an incredible change in the world that we get to be a part of. And we get to build together. And we're going to build a better and new future. And it's going to be really exciting. CNN banishes Acosta. It's so fun to see. CNN is officially, I guess they're officially moving Acosta. Now they're all running Oppo against him. And now they're going to probably just going to quit at this point. Probably just going to quit. Man, ladies and gentlemen, we will never quit. We are absolutely team never quit. Oh, I see what you got in there. Okay. Our dear friend, Tim Burchett. Maybe this might be Jim Acosta's last time on CNN. Tim Burchett roasting Acosta to his face. This is Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe Jim Acosta's last moment on CNN? Here we go.
I was at the White House covering the first Trump administration when they had rioting outside of the White House. I mean, that was covered on CNN. What you're saying, this is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes. Yeah. This is CNN. This is the news. We are asking you to come on and tell the truth.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim. Look, I left the White House during a riot. My life was threatened. My life has been threatened within the last few weeks, yet there's no coverage of that. And you all continue this narrative of attacking Trump. You just can't stand the fact that he won and that America spoke.
Congressman,
and that your view is very diminished.
That's not the case at all.
And your view is very diminished.
Daggum. I'm seeing the comments section right now. You know that we have a Tim Burchett emoji, right? In the comments. Here we go. I'll put it over there. Daggum. The only show with a daggum emoji. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is good and exciting news all around. I think we might as well just close the way that this all started. President Trump's first press conference ever as president. First press conference ever as president. This is President Trump calling Jim Acosta fake news to his face. Where were you when this actually happened?
Don't be rude. You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
You are fake news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just once more, I want to establish we are not Benny Thompson. I am Benny Johnson. I did not sit on the January 6th committee. This is not me, okay? This was not me. I did not do this. I'm not friends with Liz Cheney. I don't like Nancy Pelosi. I think Nancy Pelosi is a demon. This was not me. ladies and gentlemen. If you want a helpful guide as to who is Benny and who's not, you can check the Family Guy meme here. Benny. Okay? a helpful guide for trying times like such as these. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What is this one? Impossible. Perhaps the archives were deleted by Benny Johnson. No! The Star Wars memes have come for me. Oh, no. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was too much fun. Okay. All right, time to go defend myself on X. You're going to see me posting nonstop on X now. We love you. I just want to say we love you. Thank you. Who's going to bail me out of jail? Who's going to bail me out when Trump sends the feds for me? Don't give me a pardon, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very excited to be joining with you in the golden era. It is the honor of our life, actually, to be able to do this. We've built and worked so hard to get to this moment, just to be put on blast by Donald Trump in front of the White House. It's fun. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is Friday, so if you're a member, go ahead and jump into the portal on BennyJohnson.com, ask questions. And no, I don't know when my arraignment is going to be for all the crimes that I committed when I was on the January 6th committee. We're going to use this. We're going to use this as an opportunity to get our Donald Trump White House stream live. How much fun would that be? Oh, man. We love you all. We thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. Make sure that we are powerful and that we are able to speak the truth. We are already defeating our corporate media enemies. And ladies and gentlemen, now is not the time to let up the gas. Now is the time to have eyes on the prize. Charge! And the truth shall set you free. Not Benny Thompson. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
Right there. It's that one.
Activate the statue of deportation.
Man, I can't wait to see people's faces when we come on shore. This should really get the city's positive energy flowing.
The statue of deportation has arrived in New York City.
Madman. You're a madman. You threaten my people with slavery and death. Oh, I've chosen my words carefully. Perhaps you should have done the same. This is MLK!
Truth gon' be faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny shows the storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salt in all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.